The Mazda MX-5 is probably one of the most highly anticipated releases of 2015. Now in its fourth incarnation, the Mazda MX-5 has always been heralded as being an enthusiast's vehicle, a driver's car. When it was released in the late 80s, the first generation that is, it was a return to the roadster. It was in fact largely responsible for the roadster revival. It had 2 seats. It was a convertible. It had a small motor, small amounts of grip as well, but it was front engine and rear wheel drive. It fed all the information from the road back to the driver. It really was a purist's vehicle. Consequent generations seem to have lost that touch. They say that the ND, the 4th generation of the Mazda MX-5, is a return to that purist approach. Well, it seems they've got it right, because straight away you can feel that this car wants to envelop you. It wants to connect with you in a way that not many cars do. Now, the new Mazda MX-5 is powered by a 2-litre motor. It's the Skyactiv G 4-cylinder motor, and it makes 118 kilowatts, 200 newton meters of torque. Doesn't sound like much, but you've got to remember that they've taken over 100 kilograms off of this chassis, making it lighter. And that's, of course, a recipe for fun. The controls fall so beautifully to hand, and this gearbox is fantastic. The front engine rear drive layout also makes it very entertaining to drive. They fitted a limited slip diff to the rear, and that means that it's got fantastic precision and control through the corners. It's beautifully balanced as well. Dive into a corner too hot and be too aggressive with the steering, and it's going to push the nose. Go in too hot and come off of it, and the tail's going to start coming around. You can work with it, you can mold it, you can make the car do what you want it to do. So in the right hands, this is a very, very capable point and squirt machine. In fact, you could have quite a bit of fun in this. When it came to designing new Mazda MX-5, they hit the drawing boards hard. Gone are the rounded shapes, especially here at the back end, where we now have these swept tail lights that remind me of the Jaguar F-Type. It's all considerably more angular, more sleek, more aggressive. The folding soft top has always been the draw card of the Mazda MX-5. It's also devoid of motors and mechanisms, making it a manual soft top. The motors would only add weight and rob it of performance. The driving position is very low slung. You sit very low to the ground. It's a sort of car that you fall into rather than climb into. And the rest of the lines are just as raked and pointed. I'm not too fond of the headlights. I feel they're possibly a little too small for this design, but it does look good, especially with that large front valence. It's all very angular, very sporty. Unique, in fact. It's really that easy. The interior of the Mazda is small, it is tight. It never said that it was going to be a big car, and it is one of those aspects that takes a little bit of getting used to. There's not too much room in the footwell thanks to the transmission tunnel, but where your feet need to go, it's fine, it's perfect. It is cozy, but it makes you feel one with the car, and that's what Mazda strived for. Jinba Etai is the horse and rider, and the Mazda MX-5 is supposed to feel like an extension of your person. It does that well. Just take a look at the body-colored panels over here. They almost roll over the door. That's an old retro vibe where they used to have metal panels here and only do half a door card. I actually quite like it, and it stops the cabin from being so somber and so dark. The rest of it is brilliant. The touch and feel of everything and the trimmings, the fit and finish is beautiful. Reminds me very much of the Mazda 2. I love that Mazda 2. It's got a fantastic interior, and this is no further away. The gauges are beautiful. It's all classically designed without being kitsch. There's a fantastic sound system, and of course Mazda's MZD infotainment unit is wonderful. With your little toggle joystick down here at the bottom, marvelous. This is an entertaining car to drive. It may be small, but it is agile. An absolute blast, and then you've got the added benefit of open-top motoring, which is just a sensory overload. The engine note is plumbed into the cabin. It does sound a little artificial, but it sounds like induction roar, and induction roar is good. Mazda's done it. They're right on the mark with the new MX-5. It is a fantastic drive, it is sublime, and it is a return to the first generation ethos: lightweight, excitable, fun, spirited driving. It is a fantastic vehicle. Mazda has done their homework and it has paid off. Straight A's for them. It retails for 390,000 Rand. Now that may seem like a lot for those of you that are looking for the creature comforts for that money, but for those that are looking for driver enjoyment, for a pure, unadulterated thrill, that 390,000 Rand is certainly justifiable. Dispel the myths, dispel the rumors of this being a hairdresser's car. It certainly isn't. It's got the get up and go to make this an actual, exciting sports car. And I'm going to call it a sports car, quite comfortably. It's not just a weedy little roadster.